You've probably been told, just memorize more vocabulary and your English will improve. But what if I told you that's not the secret? Here's the truth. Most English learners can read, write, even understand, but freeze when it's time to speak. Why? Because they never practice the real phrases that people actually use every single day. The kind of expressions that make you sound like a confident, friendly speaker, not a walking textbook. Today, we are going to learn 75 importante phrases. Hi, welcome to English Cactus. My name is Anna, and today's lesson will help you learn how to speak English naturally, not perfectly, but confidently. We're going to study English the way it's really spoken, at cafes, at work, with friends, even when asking for help. Before we begin, make sure to grab your free PDF of this lesson in the video description. Trust me, it's going to be your best speaking guide. And here's a technique that will supercharge your fluency fast. Shadowing. First, just listen to me speak. Get the idea. Then rewind, pause after each phrase, and say it out loud. Match my voice, my rhythm. Do this every day, and soon you'll feel like you're talking to a real friend. That's how confidence is built, little by little, phrase by phrase. So go ahead, grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's begin. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments, where are you from? I love meeting students from all over the world. Phrase 1. Hey, how's it going? You know, the way you start a conversation says a lot. In English, we don't always begin with, hello, how are you? That works, yes, but sounding natural means trying other openers. For example, when I see my friend John at the cafe, I say, hey, how's it going? It's relaxed, friendly, and common. Most native speakers use this all the time. It's not about grammar here. It's about rhythm, about real talk. So, if you want to study English the way people truly speak, learn these little tricks. These small greetings open doors. And the best part? You don't need perfect grammar. You just need the courage to say it. Phrase 2. What's up? Another great one is, what's up? It's casual, quick, and super common. Imagine this. You enter a room and your coworker says, what's up? You don't need a long answer. You can say, not much, or just working. Easy, right? That's the key to daily conversations. You don't always need a full sentence. Learning phrases like this helps you blend in, not stand out awkwardly. When you study English, remember, less is more. And don't worry if you feel strange saying it at first. You'll grow into it. Phrase 3. Long time no see. Let me tell you a funny thing. One day I saw my old student after 2 years and I said, long time no see. He laughed and replied, I know, right? That's the beauty of learning real English. Long time no see is perfect when you meet someone after weeks, months, or even years. It's friendly and simple. This isn't the kind of thing you'll always find in textbooks, but it's gold. When you study English, don't just memorize. Learn how people feel when they talk. Learn what makes them smile, and you'll connect faster than you think. Phrase 4. How are things? Sometimes I tell my students to walk around their house and greet objects. Hey, fridge, what's up? Or, how are things, sofa? Sounds silly? Yes, but it works. Why? Because you're training your mouth to speak English naturally. It's like learning a song. You repeat it until it flows. So if you want to learn, practice with joy. Talk to your dog, your coffee cup, even your laundry. Say, how are things today? The more you speak, the more confident you become. That's real progress. Phrase 5. How's everything going? Let's go deeper. How's everything going? Is a beautiful way to check in with someone. Imagine your friend is going through a hard time. This phrase shows you care. You're not just asking a basic, how are you? You're inviting a real answer. And people feel that. So when you learn, don't just learn the words. Learn the emotion behind the words. Speak with your heart, not just your mouth. That's how you sound like someone who really understands English, not just someone who studied the book. Phrase 6. Practice with a smile. You know what I tell every beginner? Smile when you speak English. A smile changes your tone, your energy, even your accent. Try saying, "Hey, how's it going?" with a smile. Now try it without. Big difference, right? These greetings are simple but powerful. They're tools, not decorations. When you study English, learn how to use them. At the bus stop, in the bar, store, on social media, start small. Say hey to someone. You'll be surprised how warm people are when you speak their language, even if just a little. Phrase 7. Challenge yourself. Now here's a little challenge for you. Pick one phrase from today, just one, and use it 3 times this week. It can be, "What's up?" or "How's everything going?" Use it with a friend, a colleague, or even in the mirror. Say it until it feels like yours. Because learning English isn't just about knowing, it's about becoming. And the more you use these greetings, the more you'll feel part of the language. And guess what? That's just the beginning. Because once you greet someone, the real conversation begins. Phrase 8. Exactly. You know that moment when someone says something and you agree so much that you just nod with your whole soul? That's when exactly comes in. It's strong, clear, and confident. Imagine a friend says, "Learning English is hard at first but fun later," and you respond, "Exactly." It's more than a word. It's connection. It shows you're present in the conversation. That's the kind of phrase that makes people feel heard. When you study English, learn to listen and react. Don't just memorize, engage. A good reaction shows understanding. Phrase 9. That's so true. Sometimes you'll hear someone say something simple but deep, and instead of explaining everything, you can say, "That's so true." It's a friendly way to agree and keep the flow going. For example, if a friend says, "Practice makes perfect," you nod and say, "That's so true." You've just agreed, encouraged, and continued the conversation in one move. Phrases like this are small but powerful. When you learn English, focus on the words that bring people closer, because that's what real language is for, connection. Phrase 10. Totally. This one's short, sharp, and super casual. When someone says something you 100% agree with, totally is all you need. Imagine someone says, "This pizza is amazing," and you go, "Totally." Boom. That's it. You sound natural. When you study English, try adding phrases like this to your conversations. They're like the seasoning on your sentence. They add flavor and personality. And the best part? Anyone can learn them. Just try it next time you're chatting, even with yourself. Phrase 11. You're kidding. Now let's play with emotion. When you hear something surprising or hard to believe, "You're kidding" is your go-to. Your friend says, "I met Beyoncé at the airport," and you say, "You're kidding." See? It's expressive. It shows you're listening and feeling. These are the moments that make English feel alive. When you learn, don't be afraid to show emotion. Reacting naturally is part of fluency. People will enjoy talking to you more when you show surprise, excitement, or curiosity. Phrase 12. No way. This one is like a cousin to "You're kidding." It's full of disbelief, but in a fun way. Let's say someone says, "I finished the whole cake by myself," and you go, "No way." It's playful. It's light. It keeps the conversation alive. That's the kind of English you want to learn. It's not just grammar. It's the energy behind your words. When you study English, learn to react the way real people do. That's when the magic happens. Phrase 13. Combine reactions. Let me give you a trick. Combine reactions to sound more real, like "no way, you're kidding," or "exactly." That's so true. We do this all the time in English. Mixing expressions makes your speech more colorful and your personality shine. Try it with friends or when you watch shows. Repeat what the characters say, feel the rhythm, react with them. When you learn English, act like you're part of the scene. That's how real understanding grows. Phrase 14. Start using them now. So here's your challenge. Pick 2 of these phrases and use them in your next conversations. Online, at work, or even when watching a movie. Pause and say, "Totally," or "You're kidding." Don't be shy. Learning a language is like dancing. At first it's awkward, but soon it becomes natural. You study English not just to know it, but to live it. And when you start reacting like a native speaker, well, let's just say, you're closer than you think. And what do you say when someone helps you? Let's find out in the next part. Phrase 15. Can you do me a favor? Sometimes asking for help is the bravest thing you can do, and this phrase, "Can you do me a favor?" is one of the best ways to start. It's polite, friendly, and very common in daily conversation. Imagine you're carrying heavy bags and see someone nearby. Just say, "Can you do me a favor?" Then ask. It makes the moment soft and natural. When you study English, it's important to learn how to ask without fear. Language isn't only for speaking, it's for connecting. This phrase makes that connection feel warm and human. Phrase 16. Would you mind helping me out? This phrase is a little more formal, but still gentle. Picture this. You're at a bus station, confused by the schedule. You ask someone, "Would you mind helping me out?" It's respectful and kind. People respond better when you ask this way. And here's a tip. You can use this phrase for anything. Directions, advice, even at work. Learning English isn't just about knowing vocabulary. It's about knowing how to say things that make people feel good when they listen to you. That's real fluency. Phrase 17. Do you need a hand? Let's flip the situation. Instead of asking for help, now you're offering it. If you see someone struggling, maybe with groceries, maybe with a project, just say, "Do you need a hand?" It's short and friendly. You don't need to be perfect. Just show you care. When you study English, also study how to be kind with your words. This phrase helps you do that. And guess what? You'll make friends faster too. Kindness is a universal language, and English gives you many ways to express it. Phrase 18. Let me know if you need anything. This is the kind of phrase that makes people feel safe. You can say it to a friend, a coworker, or even someone you just met. It's like telling them, "I'm here for you." Let's say a friend is going through a hard time. You don't need to fix everything. Just say, "Let me know if you need anything." It creates trust. As you study English, learn to use words that offer support. These are the phrases that stay in people's hearts, even after the conversation ends. Phrase 19. Can I help you with that? This is one of my favorites. It's simple, clear, and very useful in everyday life. Imagine someone is setting up chairs before a meeting. You walk over and say, "Can I help you with that?" They'll smile every time. You don't have to wait for someone to ask. When you study English, practice being the first to speak. This phrase gives you the power to be kind, to take action, and to connect. And remember, helping someone else also helps your English grow. Phrase 20. Is there anything I can do? This one is for deeper moments. Maybe someone is sad or struggling quietly. You can look them in the eye and say, "Is there anything I can do?" That question opens a door. And even if the answer is no, they'll remember that you asked. That's the kind of English that matters. You're not just learning to speak. You're learning to show love through your words. And believe me, that's more powerful than any perfect grammar. Phrase 21. Try it in real life. So here's your challenge. Use at least one of these phrases this week. Offer help to someone, or ask for a little support, even if it's small. Maybe you ask your teacher, "Would you mind helping me out with this homework?" Or you help your neighbor, "Can I help you with that bag?" These are real useful moments, and when you live the language, you grow faster. Speaking of growing, what happens when someone invites you to make plans? Phrase 22. I'm down for that. Sometimes making plans isn't about big speeches. It's about sounding cool and natural. That's where I'm down for that comes in. It means, yes, I want to do it. If a friend says, "Let's grab coffee after work," and you reply, "I'm down for that," you sound friendly and relaxed. When you study English, try to learn these modern ways of saying yes. They help you sound like someone who lives the language, not just studies it. And let's be honest, who doesn't love saying yes to coffee? Phrase 23. Sounds good. This phrase is like a handshake in words. If someone offers a plan and you agree, you can say, "Sounds good." It's quick, clear, and used all the time in casual conversation. Imagine someone says, "Let's meet at 2 p.m." You don't have to say much, just reply, "Sounds good." That's it. When you learn English, knowing how to keep things short and smooth is a superpower. Try it in texts, at work, or when chatting with friends. It's a small phrase with big charm. Phrase 24. Talk to you soon. Now let's talk about how to end a plan. Talk to you soon is the perfect way to say goodbye when you know you'll speak again. You can use it after making a plan, finishing a phone call, or even ending a chat online. It's friendly and positive. When you study English, remember, how you close a conversation matters too. Use this phrase to leave the door open for more. And when you say it with a smile, people will always look forward to talking to you again. Phrase 25. Catch you later. This one's fun, easy, and super casual. Catch you later means see you later, but with a cool twist. It's something you'd say to a friend or classmate when you're heading out. Imagine leaving a group after lunch. You wave and say, "Catch you later." It keeps the mood light and friendly. When you learn English, collecting phrases like this is like building your own personal style. And trust me, style matters in conversation just as much as grammar. Phrase 26. Let's hang out sometime. This is how friendships begin. When you meet someone nice and want to see them again, you can say, "Let's hang out sometime." It's casual and open-ended. You're not setting a date, you're just showing interest. This phrase is great for meeting new people at school, work, or even during travel. When you study English, use it as a bridge between hello and friendship. The more you say it, the more doors you'll open. Phrase 27. Are you free this weekend? Here's a very practical phrase. When you want to make real plans, ask, "Are you free this weekend?" It's polite and helps you find the right time. You can use it for coffee, movies, walks, anything. Asking questions like this helps build stronger connections. And learning how to use time expressions in English, like this weekend or tomorrow evening, helps you become more confident in daily life. It's one of the best tools you can have. Phrase 28. Start making real plans. Here's your wow mission this week. Make a simple plan in English. Ask a friend, send a message, or say something to a coworker. Use one of today's phrases like "sounds good" or "are you free this weekend?" Don't wait for the perfect English. Just try. You're not just studying English, you're using it to live your life better. And once the plans are made, you might hear some surprising news next. So, how do you react when someone shares something big? Phrase 29. I'm so happy for you. One of the best feelings in life is sharing someone's joy. And when you say, "I'm so happy for you," you're giving them a little celebration through your words. If your friend gets a new job or passes an exam, say it loud and proud. It's a beautiful phrase that shows your heart is in the right place. When you study English, remember, language isn't just for speaking, it's for caring. Use this phrase to make someone feel seen, supported, and celebrated. Phrase 30. That's awesome. Here's a phrase packed with energy. That's awesome is like giving someone a high five through your voice. When you hear something cool, like a friend saying, "I'm going to travel to Italy," you can reply, "That's awesome." It's simple, full of life, and super common. When you learn English, don't be afraid to sound excited. Excitement makes you memorable. And when people feel your positive energy, they want to keep talking to you. That's powerful. Phrase 31. I'm sorry to hear that. Now let's move to something deeper. When someone shares bad news, it's important to respond with kindness. Saying, "I'm sorry to hear that," is a gentle way to show you care. Whether it's a small problem or something serious, this phrase creates a safe space. As you study English, don't just focus on fun words. Learn how to comfort. 2. Because life has ups and downs, and English helps us be present for others in both moments. Phrase 32. That's too bad. This one is a little more casual than the last, but still empathetic. Imagine your coworker says they missed a flight. You can say, "Oh no, that's too bad." It shows sympathy, but keeps the tone light. It's great for everyday problems, like forgetting your lunch or losing your keys. Learning English also means learning how to balance your reactions. Some moments call for deep words. Others just need a soft touch like this. Phrase 33. I get it. Sometimes people don't want advice. They just want to feel understood. That's when you say, "I get it." It means, "I understand how you feel." If a friend says they're stressed from work, you can simply reply, "I get it." No long story needed, just presence. These are the phrases that build trust. Fast. When you study English, include emotional phrases too, because understanding someone, truly understanding, is more valuable than any long explanation. Phrase 34. I know what you mean. Here's another phrase that brings comfort and connection. I know what you mean tells the other person, you're not alone. For example, if someone says, I feel tired all the time lately, you can nod and say, I know what you mean. Just like that, you've built a bridge. These are the conversations that matter. And when you use this phrase with sincerity, it shows emotional maturity. That's something every English learner should strive for. Not just language skills, but human skills. Phrase 35. Practice with emotion. Now your challenge. This week, react emotionally in English. If a friend shares something good, say, that's awesome. If they're struggling, try, I'm sorry to hear that. Let. Your words carry warmth. Let them carry care. Because English isn't just a language. It's a way to hold people gently. And speaking of understanding, what if someone says something and you don't understand it at all? What should you say then? Phrase 36. Could you say that? Again? Even native speakers ask people to repeat themselves sometimes, so don't feel shy. When you say, could you say that again? You're showing that you care about understanding. It's polite, simple, and useful in every situation, at work, school, or even during a phone call. When you study English, it's okay to pause and ask. That's part of learning. Real conversation isn't about pretending to understand. It's about being honest and growing. Phrase 37. What do you mean by that? Sometimes people say things that are confusing or unclear. Instead of guessing, just ask, what do you mean by that? It's respectful and helps you learn faster. For example, if someone says, it's a piece of cake, and you're not sure what they mean, this phrase invites an explanation. And guess what? Native speakers will be happy to teach you. Learning English is like opening a treasure chest. The more questions you ask, the more gold you find. Phrase 38. I didn't catch that. This one is perfect when you miss something someone said. Maybe they spoke too fast or too quietly. You can say, sorry, I didn't catch that. It sounds natural and friendly. We use it all the time. When you study English, remember, speaking is only half of the process. Listening is the other half. And asking someone to repeat something means you're paying attention, not falling behind. Phrase 39. Can you repeat that, please? This is another polite and clear way to ask someone to say something again. You can use it with strangers, teachers, or informal situations. Imagine you're in a meeting and miss part of a sentence. Just say, can you repeat that, please? No shame, just clarity. People appreciate when you want to understand better. And the more you practice this phrase, the more confident you'll feel in fast-paced conversations. Phrase 40. Sorry, I don't understand. Being honest about confusion is not a weakness, it's a strength. When you say, sorry, I don't understand, you give yourself a chance to learn. Don't try to fake it. When you study English, learn to be open. This phrase helps people slow down, explain more clearly, or say things in a different way. That's how understanding grows, one honest moment at a time. Phrase 41. Could you explain that differently? If someone already explained something but you still don't get it, try this. Could you explain that differently? It's respectful and smart. It shows you're trying, and it invites the other person to help. People won't think you're slow. They'll see you as a serious learner. This is the kind of question that makes conversations better for everyone. Use it, and you'll build deeper, more helpful connections. Phrase 42. Practice clarifying this week. This week, try asking for clarification at least once, maybe in wow, class, or when watching a video. Pause and say out loud, could you say that again? Or, I didn't catch that. These small habits train your brain and your ears. You don't need to understand everything on the first try. Just be brave. Enough to ask, because once you ask, something interesting happens next. Sometimes you don't even need to know what to say right away. You just need a second to think. Phrase 43. Let me think. Sometimes you just need a second to organize your thoughts. Instead of staying silent, you can say, let me think. It gives your brain time to catch up and keeps the conversation flowing. For example, if someone asks, what's your favorite movie? And you're unsure, just say, let me think. When you study English, learning these little pauses is just as important as learning big words. They give you space. And they make you sound more natural too. Phrase 44. Well, you know, this one's a classic. Well, you know, is used when you're thinking, hesitating, or softening your tone. Let's say someone asks why you didn't go to the party. You could say, well, you know, I wasn't feeling great. It makes the sentence gentle and more casual. Learning. English is not just about what you say, but how you say it. These small expressions make you sound real, like someone who's actually lived in the language. Phrase 45. Honestly speaking. This phrase shows you're about to be sincere, or share something a bit personal. You might say, honestly speaking, I didn't like the movie. It prepares the listener for your opinion without sounding rude. When you study English, practice sharing truth kindly. Honestly speaking can help you express disagreement in a respectful way, and that's a skill every good communicator needs. Phrase 46. To be honest? Similar to the last one, but more casual. You can say it with friends, at work, or even online. To be honest, I'm a little tired today. It makes your words sound honest and real. People trust you more when they hear this phrase. When you're learning English, don't just focus on big ideas. Focus on the real way people talk about how they feel. And, to be honest, is a doorway to connection. Phrase 47. I mean. This one is great for correcting yourself or adding more detail. Let's say you say something confusing. You can follow with, I mean, and then clarify. Like, she's kind of difficult. I mean, she just has strong opinions. See how it softens the message? It helps you fix mistakes in real time. When you learn English, don't worry about being perfect. Learn how to adjust as you speak. That's where fluency begins. Phrase 48. You know? This little phrase shows up all the time in conversations. You know, helps the other person stay with you as you speak. It's like a soft nudge to say, stay with me, this is important. For example, it was a long day, you know? Lots of things happened. It keeps the rhythm natural and helps you sound connected. Use it in stories, in emotions, in opinions. It's small, but it makes your English feel alive. Phrase 49. Try these in your daily talk. Your challenge this time. Pause on purpose. Next time you don't know what to say right away, don't panic. Say, let me think. Or, well, you know. It's okay to breathe in your sentences. These phrases help you slow down, reflect, and sound like someone who owns their voice. And after you pause, maybe it's time to offer an idea. Let's talk about sharing opinions and giving suggestions in English. Are you ready? Phrase 50. How about we? Sometimes, making a suggestion is the start of something great. And how about we is a perfect way to do it. For example, how about we study English together on Saturday? It's friendly, soft, and shows you're open. This phrase doesn't sound like a command. It invites the other person to join your idea. When you learn English, don't just wait for people to tell you what to do. Learn how to suggest things in a kind, open way. That's real communication. Phrase 51. Why don't we? This one is similar, but a little more casual. It's great for close friends, coworkers, or anytime you want to sound relaxed. Let's say it's raining, and you and a friend are outside. You could say, why don't we grab a coffee and wait? It feels natural, like a small invitation. When you study English, notice how these tiny shifts in tone change everything. You're not just offering an idea, you're inviting someone to share an experience. Phrase 52. I see your point, but there will be times when you disagree with someone. And that's okay. This phrase helps you express your opinion without starting a fight. You say, I see your point, but, and then explain gently. For example, I see your point, but I think we should wait a little longer. This shows respect and confidence at the same time. As you learn English, also learn how to stay calm and clear when your ideas are different. That's true fluency. Phrase 53. I'm not so sure about that. If you want to disagree but still be nice, this is the phrase to use. It's soft, thoughtful, and gives space for more conversation. Maybe someone says, we should skip the meeting, and you reply, I'm not so sure about that. It keeps the door open for discussion. When you study English, don't just focus on saying yes. Practice polite ways of saying, maybe not. It shows maturity and real-world communication skills. Phrase 54. If I were you, I'd... Now, this is a classic advice phrase. It helps you give suggestions without sounding bossy. For example, if I were you, I'd take a break. It's clear and kind. It's also very respectful because it shows you're imagining the other person's situation. When you learn English, use this phrase to practice empathy. Speak with heart and wisdom. That's how you build strong relationships, in any language. Phrase 55. You should? This one is direct but useful. You should try this new app, or you should talk to your teacher. Be careful. It's strong, so use it when you're close to someone, or when they ask for advice. It's great for making helpful suggestions. And when you study English, this is a phrase that shows action. It moves people. so think before you use it and say it with kindness. Phrase 56. Give and ask for opinions. This week, now let's flip the challenge. Don't just say what you think, ask others too. Try, what do you think? Or, how about we do it another way? Start practicing suggestions in real conversations, maybe with your family, maybe at work, or even in the comments of a video. The goal is to make your English feel alive. Because once you learn how to share your opinion, there's one more thing that makes you sound like a true native speaker. Those little add-ons people use all the time. Phrase 57. You know what I mean? This little question is powerful. You know what I mean? Isn't just about checking for understanding, it's about connection. You might say, sometimes learning English feels slow. You know what I mean? It makes the listener feel involved, like they're part of your thought. When you study English, use phrases like this to invite people into your world. It turns your sentence into a conversation. And that's where real learning happens, between two people, not just inside your head. Phrase 58. Right? This is one of the most common add-ons in English. You share your thought, then say, right, at the end to seek agreement. For example, this class is moving fast, right? It helps keep conversations light and engaging. It also gives the other person a chance to respond, even with just a nod. When you study English, learning how to keep the flow going is key. Right? Is like a soft nudge that keeps the energy alive. Phrase 59. Isn't it? This one works great when you're making a comment and want someone to agree with you. It's more formal than right, but still friendly. Try saying, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? It sounds polite, thoughtful, and inviting. You'll hear this a lot in the UK, but also around the world. When you learn English, notice how people shape their speech based on who they're with. Add-ons. Like, isn't it, make you sound aware and respectful. Phrase 60. Don't you think? When you want to involve the other person in your thought, this phrase is perfect. For example, that movie was a bit too long, don't you think? It's like saying, you probably feel the same, and if they don't, that's okay. It invites discussion. When you study English, you're also studying people, how they connect, how they invite opinions. And this phrase opens the door to exactly that. Phrase 61. Right versus isn't it? Let's break this down. Right is casual and works in almost every situation. Isn't it? Is a bit more structured and polite. The key is to match the phrase with the situation. Talking to a friend? Use right. Talking to your teacher? Maybe isn't it? Fits better. These little choices make your English feel real, not robotic. As you learn, play with both. Try them in real conversations and see how people react. Phrase 62. Add-on. Phrases in movies. Want to hear these phrases in action? Watch your favorite movie or show in English with subtitles. Pay close attention to how characters say things like, you know what I mean? Or, right? Pause. And repeat them. Study the tone. When you study English, using TV and movies as teachers is a fun and smart strategy. You'll notice that these little phrases show up everywhere because they reflect real life. Phrase 63. Practice the add-on habit. Here's your challenge. This week, practice using at least one add-on in every English conversation. Even if it's short, say, right? Or, you know what I mean? Try it at the store, in class, or even talking to yourself. These tiny phrases are like seasoning. They make your words richer. And once you start using them naturally, you'll feel how much more comfortable you sound. And now that you've got the rhythm, how about we put everything into action? Phrase 64. Let's grab a coffee. Imagine this. You and your friend are walking in the park and you say, let's grab a coffee. It's a simple suggestion, but it opens the door for practice, connection, and fun. This kind of phrase shows up all the time in daily conversations. That's why I always tell my students, don't just study English, live it. Use it in real moments. When you learn English, small talk is your secret weapon. Start with coffee. Then let the conversation flow. Phrase 65. What's new at work? This is a great opener when talking to someone you haven't seen in a few days. It shows you care, and it gives the other person space to talk. Try saying, "Hey, what's new at work?" It's the kind of question that leads to deeper conversation. Practice it with a friend or in a role play. Pretend you're at a lunch break, asking your colleague. These practice moments help build your confidence and make you feel more natural in real situations. Phrase 66. Need help with that? Now imagine you see someone dropping papers at the office. You walk over and say, "Need help with that?" That one sentence can turn a stranger into a friend. This is why we practice. Learning English is not just about tests, it's about people. Role play this with a classmate. One person has a problem, the other offers help. It's simple, fun, and you learn how to care using your words. Phrase 67. I'm so happy for you. Let's say a friend tells you, "I got accepted into university." You smile and say, "I'm so happy for you." That moment is pure connection. Try role-playing this in a cafe scene, a phone call, or even in the mirror. Say it like you mean it. That's how you build emotional fluency. Because when you study English, it's not just about vocabulary, it's about making people feel heard and seen. Phrase 68. Could you say that again? Let's say you're in a busy restaurant, and someone gives you directions, but it's too noisy. You ask, "Could you say that again?" And just like that, you're using English to solve a real-life problem. Practice this in role plays. Create mini scenes. You're at a train station, a hotel lobby, a loud party. Learning to ask for clarity helps you stay calm and confident, even in tricky situations. Phrase 69. Let me think. Here's a great one for role play. Pretend someone asks you a question like, "What's your dream job?" Before answering, you pause and say, "Let me think." This shows you're reflective and thoughtful. Practice it while talking to yourself in front of a mirror or with a study partner. These small habits train your brain to respond naturally, just like in real life. You're not just learning phrases. You're learning to become the speaker you admire. Phrase 70. Repeat, repeat, repeat. So what do I want you to do now? Practice. Create scenes where you're at a cafe, helping a coworker, reacting to a friend's big news. Don't worry about mistakes. Repeat the phrases, try different tones, record yourself. The more you play with English, the faster you grow. Use these role plays to turn phrases into instincts. And if you want to boost your fluency even more, let me give you one last trick. Phrase 71. Repeat after me. This is one of the simplest but most powerful methods. When I say, "Repeat after me," I mean it. Out loud, with energy. Don't just watch videos in silence. Copy the sound, the rhythm, the feeling. If I say, "Let's grab a coffee," you say it too. When you study English this way, your brain and your mouth start working together. And suddenly, you're not just learning, you're performing. You're becoming fluent without even realizing. At phrase 72, say it out loud. It may feel silly at first, but saying words out loud trains your brain faster. Reading silently helps, yes, but speaking brings the language to life. Imagine learning to dance by only reading steps. You need to move. Same with English. So say, it. You know what I mean? Say it again. The mirror, your room, your phone, make them your practice stage. And if someone hears you, even better. You're showing that you're serious about this. Phrase 73. Talk to yourself. Yes, talk to yourself. It's not crazy. It's genius. When you're alone, Describe what you're doing. I'm making tea. Now I'm opening the fridge. This builds vocabulary, confidence, and fluency. Many successful language learners swear by this. When you study English, your best conversation partner is often you. You never interrupt yourself. You're always available. And you never judge. That's the perfect practice partner right there. Phrase 74. Just 5 minutes a day. You don't need hours. You just need consistency. 5 minutes of focused, loud, brave speaking every day will change your English in 30 days. You can start with one phrase a day. Wake up and say, "Sounds good." Or before bed, say, "Talk to you soon." These tiny repetitions build a habit. When you study English daily, even for a short time, your fluency grows like a tree, steady, strong, and full of life. Phrase 75. English is a journey. And here's your final phrase. English is a journey. You won't master it in one day. But every phrase you practice, every time you speak out loud, every small step, it matters. You're not just learning words, you're building confidence. Keep going, keep repeating, keep living the language. And if you've come this far, you're not a beginner anymore. You're a speaker in progress. Now, are you ready for the next step? So now that you've learned 75 of the most useful phrases for daily English conversation, what are you going to do with them? Will you let them sit in your notebook? Or will you speak them into the world? Remember, fluency doesn't come from knowing, it comes from using. It's built through practice, confidence, and those little everyday moments where you choose to say, "Hey, how's it going?" instead of staying silent. Here's my challenge for you. Pick 5 phrases from this lesson and use them this week. Say them to a friend, whisper them in the mirror, use them in a text, post one in the comments below. The goal is simple. Make English part of your life. And tell me, which phrase was your favorite? Where are you from? How are you practicing? You're speaking this week? I'll be reading every comment and cheering for you along the way. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell to keep learning with me. You're not just learning English, you're becoming someone who can use it to connect, to grow, and to shine. See you in the next lesson.